high-cost fund to assist in the initial recovery effort. And the Hurricane Recovery Task Force is a multi-bureau response force designed to facilitate rapid response, restoration of service, and with the leadership of Michael, and I do want to emphasize that and give him a tip of the hat, because his leadership as chairman of that task force has marshaled resources of the FCC to a great degree, and also resources beyond the FCC in working that. So we should certainly recognize Michael's devotion and hard work, and wish him continued hard work going forward. Now, yesterday, as the chairman announced, the FCC has proposed another round of support to restore and advance universal service capabilities in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And there is a very nice symmetry or synergy between the Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. I'll discuss that in a minute. So the proposal is to develop a new program called Bringing Puerto Rico Together. And this specific fund is within the umbrella of the high-cost program of the FCC, and would restore and advance service in the Commonwealth and in the Virgin Islands, both service restoration funds and also service advancement funds. It's very important to understand, I think we probably emphasize this, that it's not just restoring back to where we were, but it's actually advancing to see if we can harden assets and make sure that the assets, if there were, hopefully there isn't for a while, but if there were another event that natural causes, hurricane or tropical storm, that those assets, that infrastructure would be able to continue. The FCC plan provides a very good platform in our estimation, and we just have a brief little bit of information. I understand, Chairman, that you circulated a draft and a notice of proposed rulemaking to your fellow commissioners. We look forward to seeing maybe a fact sheet and other information when it becomes available. And that platform is excellent because it provides for immediate, near-term, and long-term support infrastructure needs. And so the announced funding levels are very and its approach to not only look at immediate recovery needs, but also longer-term needs. When we talk about it's so critical what the chairman mentioned in his introductory remarks, that the visible divide vital, now becoming much available through communication networks. And so restoration of networks would be done in events, as I mentioned, and then advancement of networks it should reach all of Puerto Rico. And as the resident commissioner mentioned, there are municipios areas that are very difficult to serve and very costly to serve, to see how a program to incentivize and make investments that support, so that you can improve in the infrastructure requirements. Another key item and another key item that is quite evident, that as you all know, we have submarine cable stations located in the San Juan area, but all of those stations are in the San Juan area, and it seems quite evident that there needs to be another location for a submarine marine cable landing station outside of the San Juan area in the event that San Juan was impacted severely by an event. And that's also something that a collection or a consortium or the alliance we think needs to focus on and work on with the board and with the FCC. That's all I have for your consideration. Thank you.
That's all?
That's it.
And this time, right? Yes. I think it's good. I think it's really good, and thank you for the presentation. I know we're going to have that on printing, so we're going to share that with the chairman. I don't know if you want to address that.
Sure, I'd be happy to go into more detail about the plan if you'd like, or would that be helpful? Okay, great. Figured there might be a little bit of interest in that. So, essentially, the plan as it relates to Puerto Rico has two different components: short-term component and long-term component. The short-term component involves the immediate advancement of $51.4 million for the restoration of networks in anticipation, as I said, of the hurricane season, which is almost already upon us. That part of it is an order. So under the law, we have the ability to advance in the case of an emergency in order without going through the usual notice and comment process that typically attends FCC decision making. So we can move very quickly on that, which was very important to me given that we only have 3 months to go before the 2018 hurricane season. If the plan is adopted relatively soon, by fellow commissioners, then we can pretty much get that money out the door as quickly as possible. The longer-term longer-term plan is a notice of proposed rulemaking, and here it involves approximately, as I said, $699 million. Approximately 60% of that, $444.5 million, would be for fixed broadband support, and $254 that you spoke about earlier that we advanced last year. We're not offsetting the bulk of that going forward. So the money we had previously, the amount of funding you otherwise would have received, as you'll see when it's adopted, there are a number of different proposals that we think about in terms of how to structure the distribution of the long-term support. The proposal we actually adopt is for what we call competitive proposals to be advanced by individual carriers. So as you pointed out, we consider the entire island to be the relevant geographic area, not just one particular part of it. And the geographic unit in terms of competitive proposals would be municipios. So as I understand it, there are 78 of them here on the island. Any company could bid on one or all of those 78 municipios to get federal support. With respect to so that's the geographic unit and how the competitive proposals would be structured. This is our lead proposal, but we also tee up a number of different ideas. For example, in the context of our Connect America Fund and Mobility Fund, we have introduced the concept of reverse auction. So we asked, should we consider an auction instead of this competitive proposal solution? But we also advance a number of different alternatives. So this isn't going to be necessarily the plan, but this is one of the things we tee up for consideration. I'd be interested to hear from you as well about some of the things that we are trying to struggle with. For example, package bidding. Is that something that would be also in terms of reporting and build-out requirements? We do require these funds to be expended for the purpose, of course, for which universal service is intended. Ultimately, we, the FCC, as stewards of the federal funds, want to make sure that the taxpayer gets bang for the buck. And so these funds have to be used for the restoration, the improvement, and the hardening of networks going forward. We also include some reporting requirements that I think will be no surprise to those of you who are participating. Customers as of June 30th of 2017, and to the extent that that customer base is certified by the company and is verified by the FCC using Form 477 data among other publicly available sources, any company can compete for that funding. To us, it was important to be able to incentivize all kinds of companies to compete. Obviously, the island is facing some serious challenges. June 30th of 2017. I can go into more detail, but I also want to recognize, as you did, and I should have as well, Michael Karowitz, the intrepid head of our Hurricane Recovery Task Force. I don't know how he manages to do it and stay sane, but he always has a very even keel and temperament, and matched by a work ethic that is second to none. So thank you, Michael, for your work. Also, Sue McNeil, who is in the audience, she did a tremendous amount of work putting this plan together, along with her colleagues on the FCC staff. So I want to recognize her as well for her tremendous job over the last several months on this and many other issues. To the extent that I mess it up, which I'm quite sure I will, I'm grateful that we have the professional staff at the FCC to correct me on that. Yeah.
Just have a few follow-up questions
Sure.
on that description. Telephone, or is that broadband? How was that described?
My recollection is, I read that paragraph recently. My recollection is it's any broadband subscribers.
Okay. And then one more just follow-up. I'm sorry. The amount of money, the public notice indicates, as you mentioned, there's about $250 million new money to Puerto Rico, and then the remainder is repurposed. Where is that repurposed money coming from? I can't tally up the total.
Right. So there, I will probably defer to Sue just to make sure that we get it absolutely right.
So that's based on what the pros and support is that is currently.
Maybe about 113 million.
Longer term, and the term for mobile providers is 3 years.
World.
From the audience? Go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Pai. Thank you for being again with us here in Puerto Rico and all your support to all our companies. We want to make a little briefing of what we are right now, what our main concern in the past month regarding our main issues. Actually, we still have more than 50% of our network running through generators to the whole island. Power from the private company. We have 93% of our cell site up and running, and probably more or less 98% of the population of Puerto Rico have telecommunications service, wireline or wireless. Efforts to recover and reestablish service in aftermath of the storm were hindered by lack of access to roads, lending to lack of commercial power. We still have 50%. We are running through generator. And Tony, we share something that right now what we are doing, some companies replacing generators because not too many generators are manufactured to be working for 6 months continuously. Right now, many of our companies have projects replacing generators right now. Lack of access to fuel. At the beginning of the hurricane, fuel was restricted to government agencies. We don't have access to gas or diesel, gas for our trucks and diesel to refuel our generators. Lack of safety and security support. Many of us got hit by somebody that stole our diesel, our generators, assault our employees in some places. Companies have a lot of backup and generators in the south side. but without access to diesel, we cannot turn on quickly our cell site. We get it is to be recognized from the government as a priority in the restoring of the island. During the hurricane, from poles to the island. We have a lot of fiber cut, but I think that we have more fiber cut when the hurricane passed than from the hurricane by far. We suffer a lot of floods, but I think that flood don't affect too many of us. More or less was the winds through all the towers. We don't all antennas, and many sites took us days to land or arrive to the site because we need to clean the roads because nobody do it for us.